So, all right, well, I guess we're live. Hello, everybody. Hey, you know what was funny? Just starting out here, I said last week, I was just sitting there talking to Toby a while ago, and it was so funny because I had just said in that last video that I wasn't going to show you guys my lizards, and then he puts my little lizard on the screen. That was my little Missy, by the way. So if you guys got freaked out about that, I apologize. So now you know one of my lizards, okay? And her name is Missy. So, yeah, okay. I promise you, though, we won't show you the rest of them. There is one in there that's really, really fat. And her name is Miss Puffin Stuff. There's a reason why you call her that, but I won't. No, don't show her. Don't show anybody. I'm not going to show her to you guys because, yeah. Anyway. Just kind of a funny note there. I'm actually drinking today. It is a windy day. And I was in the mood for hot chocolate. So I'm actually drinking a s'mores hot chocolate today while the wind is blowing like 10 billion miles an hour. And, you know, I was just kind of this week as I've been doing things because I've had a really busy couple of days. And I had just sat back and been thinking about our energy, right? And, trying to keep up with all the things that we all need to do and really just taking care of ourselves. And it's been a really, really big thing of mine for, 5, 6, 7 years now. I started working out, in 2010, I started working out and just really started to take care of myself and bringing back into loving me, loving who I am as a person. And that can, I think it can be hard for people to kind of look at it that way. And I'll kind of go back, 2010, yeah. I was 182 pounds, and I admit it, yes, guys, for my particular weight and everything, for me, that was, like, heavy, and it didn't show too much, but for me, I looked in the mirror, and I was, like, gross, I hated who I was, I hated how I looked, I hated how I felt, and I was like, okay, whatever, and I really never did much about it. I got so caught up in everything else, I didn't really think about it. And then one day, literally, I woke up and my husband went off to work because that time he was working a full-time job. And I was working my business at the time. And I just woke up one morning. I didn't think about it. I just said, I am going to start working out. And I did. I put in an old tape that I've had for a while. It was like 25 minutes long. I had to pause it when I first started working out. I had to pause it like 6 or 7 times because I'd get to a point where I was like out of breath. I couldn't breathe. I was in like the worst shape of my life. And I felt like crap. And I just started doing this. And I didn't even tell my husband the first 3 weeks?
Something
yeah,
like that.
I didn't tell him I was working out the first 3 weeks. I would wait until he went to work. And then I'd turn it on and I'd start working out and everything. And then I think maybe I shared this with you guys once before, but for those of you who don't know that. And about a week or so later, he said, because usually when we got up, I got him breakfast and, I got showered and cleaned up and got on with my day. He left or I would shower right after. And he wasn't figuring out why I wasn't getting in the shower right away. I was just lingering around in my clothes and, not really doing anything else. And he came to me and says, "You've been working out, haven't you?" And I go, "How'd you know? How did you know that?" And he says, "Well, I could tell already." I'm like, "Really?" Because I could look in the mirror at myself after 1 or 2 weeks and I'm like, "Oh, gross." Ugh, bags under, rolls on my stomach and I had like a chicken wing down here. And it's like, really? But I never looked back. I kept up and I kept up, and then I stepped up. And I ended up losing like over, and this is a period of time, guys, because I've stabled out now, but I've lost over 50 pounds just by working out, just by taking care of myself, starting to love who I am. And each time that I got a little closer to my, to the where I wanted to be with my weight, I felt better. I'd look in the mirror and I started to see like abs, and I started to see my my bone and everything, and a flatter stomach, and I started to see muscle in my arms, and I didn't have as much like flabby stuff down here, those little wings that go like this. I started liking how I looked, and I started feeling better. It showed in my physical body, it showed mentally, it showed emotionally, and I just felt overall better about myself. I felt healthy. I was energetic. And now, I'll admit, and I'm not afraid to admit this, guys. I'll be 46 next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, February 16th, I'll be 46 years old. And I can tell you right now, I feel better in my 40s than I ever did in my 30s. Seriously, I felt like crap in my 30s. And now that I've taken care of my, learning to take care of myself, my body, I had to catch up though, because my body was getting better, but my mental and emotional state was still like blah. Okay, it was blah. And I really, I guess I really started to get into this self-care thing more and more and more and more. And it's accelerated. I would say in the last year, it's accelerated to the point of realizing that I'm taking care. If you take care of your physical self, you've got to take care of you've got to take care of all those other areas of your body. Your like I said, your emotional side, your mental side, spiritually, physically, because all of them connect, right? And if you feel good physically, but you're feeling crappy emotionally and mentally about yourself, you're still gonna not, you'll feel better, but you're still not gonna be all there, right? So that's just kind of a little story where I'm leading up to. I really wanted to get, and just as entrepreneurs, and this is actually anybody, but especially entrepreneurs, we work hard and we need a lot of energy. We take a lot of mental energy, a lot of emotional energy. And in fact, this is interesting because yesterday I had an experience. Took my mom grocery shopping, and we met this guy there, and he was about the same age as me. I think a little younger, about 40, something like that. And he was like all, he was very happy. You could tell he was very happy. He was very outgoing. And it's one of those people that you feel like you've met, you meet them and you feel like you've known them forever. And he said something yesterday. We just got in a general conversation. And he said something to me that just sort of stuck in my head. And it's true. He said, we were talking about, I don't know, just different things, and then we started talking about getting what we want, like in a store. There's not. You go to the grocery store, and there's not what you want. They don't have what you want. They're out of something, and you're like, they're out of it, and you get all stressed, right? And we were talking about when we go to the store, why can't we just go to the store and get what we want, right? They should have everything stocked. Well, anyway, he said something to the lines of, people. He said, by talking to me and my mom. He said, it's nice to know that there's people, that there's still humanity out there. There's still people that actually truly enjoy, and enjoy life and really are easy and happy to talk to. There's still those people out there you can find. And he said, we put so much, he said, you don't realize how much energy goes into being negative. How much energy that we expel going into being like anxiety and frustrated and aggravated and mad and all those negative emotions. That takes more energy, guys, than what I would say working out. You can probably work out an hour. It takes more energy to be negative than it does to be positive and feel good.
By far.
Yeah. And it's stuck in my head, and I know this, right? But to have somebody I completely didn't know, never knew this guy, never, just out of random, and he said this, and I got to thinking, I'm like, that is so true. I know it, but you know how you never really sit there and think about it? So I said, as I was finishing up the grocery shopping with my mom, I kind of let that brew in my head, and I think that's what spurred on this conversation, because I thought it would be good to talk about how much energy we put into stuff, that all the negative crap, we don't really need to be putting that energy into it. I mean, we've both done it. Mm-hmm. I do it a lot, and I still admit I've done that lots of times. And at the end of the day, you just feel like crap. You're like, oh, God, your energy is just shot. So, and I know you've had that before.
Well, one thing I've noticed with when you're running or you're getting so caught up in negativity that you're adding to your stress.
Yeah.
Okay? And stress, we got enough stress put on us just out of sheer life.
Yeah, going to Walmart and not having being out of what you need. Yeah, that's stress. Kind of.
And not only just that, but then if you walk around continuously upset because they didn't have it, you're creating that much more stress.
Yeah.
The more stress you have, stress actually has physiological effects on the body. They range from mental to physical. If everybody if you get a chance out there to actually look it up, the effects of stress on the human body, it will scare you.
Mm.
By being continuously negative all the time, you create more stressors. Therefore, you're raising your stress level. And that is what drains you of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It drains you of your mental energy, your physical energy.
Everything.
Your motivation.
Yeah, definitely motivation. And I did that, I got to a point, I think back, this has been a ways back, but that I was so stressed out. I mean, I was like so stressed out that I felt like I was having a heart attack, but it wasn't a heart attack. Okay, sorry, thank goodness. But stress can mimic the same thing. Like I used to have, I'd get really stressed and I would get tight in my chest and I'd be like, I couldn't breathe in and my heart was racing and pumping like 120 beats a minute, just setting down. And I would just I would get pains in my chest. It would hurt. And it scared the living crap out of me because there was a point in time I thought I was having a heart attack. I wasn't, but stress can do that kind of stuff. And if we take care of ourselves, and that's one thing, I think it comes down to loving who you are. And a lot of people nowadays think, when you tell anybody, most of the people, you got to love you first. You got to love who you are. People look at you, or they'll say something like, well, that's very selfish. You should love others first before yourself. Okay, and, there is some truth to that, but if you just take the layers out of it, take the layers completely out of it, and take all that comments and all the opinions that people have about that kind of thing, loving yourself first, and you look at it. If you don't love yourself first, you don't take care of yourself, you don't take care of every aspect of your body, because we're a temple, right? I mean, our bodies are pretty much temples. We have to take care of them and keep them going, keep them well. Well, obviously, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not loving you. And I've said this before, and it's because it's true. you know, you cannot take care of others well. You cannot love others to the full capacity if you don't love yourself. Okay? And I know, yes, it sounds selfish. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've heard people say, oh, well, that's just selfish to love yourself. You know, it's all self-absorbed. This whole world is just self-absorbed.
That's the biggest load of horse hockey crap.
And, I mean, yeah, there are people out there that are egotistical. There are people out there that are self-righteous. I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I'm not making judgments.
Egotistical and self-righteous are completely different than having a love for yourself or an appreciation for yourself.
But, I mean, I'm saying sometimes people will bring that in and go like, oh, well, you know, they, like we were talking about the other time, the ego thing kicks in.
Yeah, well, those people are truly lacking education as to what the actual differences are.
Yeah.
What the differences mean in the way of how it applies. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. They're confused about that. So, you know, to love yourself first is, because we were all, you know, we're all created for a reason. We're all here for a reason. We all have the same potential. And what I've seen, you know, for those people that really look at loving yourself first, this is where you can come in and fully be able to be there for your loved ones. You can be there for your family, your friends, but you got to be there for yourself. I mean, imagine, okay, and I'll just go back on my personal story. I think it's kind of, I don't know why, but I feel like saying this. Back to where I was telling you when I said I was overweight and I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. I hated myself. I hated the way I felt, and I wasn't loving myself. I was like, yeah, you know, like I said, gross. Ugh. Well, on the same token, I couldn't fully be there for everybody. I couldn't be there for my husband, really. I was there, but, you know, he would look at me in a different way than I looked at myself, you know, being my husband, and I looked at him going, ew, you actually like this body? You know, I mean, and, you know, the thing is, it was putting, you know, a negative vibe out there for him, because he's like, well, you know, I just gave you a compliment. You look good in that outfit, or you look good in, you know, whatever I was wearing. And I'm like, oh, gross. I said, it makes my hips look like I'm ballooned out like thunder thighs and stomach rolls everywhere.
Well, and what that does for the person giving you the compliment, it makes them feel, you know, like you don't give a shit about what they say, and, you know, you're basically calling them a liar.
Yeah.
That's what it ends up doing to them.
It sounds harsh, but, you know, that kind of stuff, hating on yourself, actually makes others go like, well, what's the point? You know, and then you wonder why people around you are like, don't really want to be, I'm not saying want to be around you, but they just don't really want to, like, they kind of they just like put up a wall and say, okay, fine, whatever.
Or they're around you, but you did something special, you know, with your clothing or something like that, and they don't say anything about it. Well, what's the point of them saying something about it if you're just going to go, oh, this is a piece of crap?
Yeah, or I like fat in this, you know. And, you know, it's the thing is, that's a personal experience, you know, for everybody. I'm talking for everybody. And it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't have to be about weight loss. That was just my personal thing that happened to me. It could be anything. If we don't love the way, you know, the way we are, we need to change something. And this is where we have to go in. We have to just kind of take a break and go in and say, okay, what do I start with small things. What do you love about yourself? Like right now, take a mental check. And what do you love about yourself? And then don't just say, oh, well, I hate everything about myself. Everybody has something they love. Do you love your hair color? Do you love your eye color? Do you love, I don't know, your hands, your feet? You know, I don't know. There's got to be something that you love about yourself. Like, start with that. Okay, start with that. And then figure out how to change how you feel mentally about yourself. Start, you know, I would think maybe, like, I don't know, I started with self-care. Again, that's, you don't have to do like physical exercise, but that is the fitness realm, and taking care of myself and self-care is what I've really been into. And like self-care of maybe some meditation, I've done that. Something that's going to help you feel better about you, right? And I'm going to take a quick sip of this here before it gets really cold, because we don't want to let hot chocolate sit and get cold. That's bad. But I mean, you know, and I've learned a lot in the last couple of years about myself. I've learned, you know, I need to start loving who I am. I need to start loving just all the things about me. And yeah, there are days I'll look in the mirror still and I'll go, oh man, I really wish my hips were a bit smaller. Or, man, you know, there's that extra little pinch there on the side that I still have. I wish I can just get that to go away. Or, and I start going off again on like, okay, I look bad, I look bad, I look bad. Or this outfit, man, it's just not fitting right. My legs look huge one day. You know, I still find myself doing that. And then the biggest thing is you have to catch yourself. As soon as you catch yourself hating on yourself, I guess that's a good way to put it, that right there is bringing it into the conscious mind. Because you're like, oh wait, I just looked in the mirror and I said my legs look huge today. Ah! And then you're like, no, stop. That right there, if you just start mentally getting a grasp on that and realizing what you're saying about yourself and how you're, you know, doing that, that is where you can start really start changing the way you think. So maybe instead of looking in the mirror and go, oh, my legs are fat, maybe you can look in the mirror and go, damn, girl, I have some sexy legs there. Or, you know, for men, maybe you're like, oh, man, now I got some really good muscle going on. And it's not an egotistical thing, okay? I don't want you to get this stereotype where you're like, oh, I'm great looking. Oh, you know, that's not what I mean, all right? Because it can go too far. Okay. You don't want that. I'm just saying a healthy, how would you say it? Have a healthy, feel, how, I'm trying, I can't get it to come out right. It's like a healthy obsession with yourself.
Not really an obsession, but
yeah,
a healthy
I can't get the
appreciation of yourself.
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't get that out, guys. Yes, a healthy appreciation for yourself. Yes. And that's where it begins. And like it can be the smallest thing, okay? Like I love the color of my hair. I'm blonde. Yes, I love blonde. This hair has never seen bleach ever. Okay? So yes, I love my hair color. And will I change it? No, because I love the way my hair, I love the color of it. So that's what you got to do. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what do you love about you? And start with that. And then what would you think of, like, for men? Let's get a man's perspective, because, you know, I'm always giving a woman's perspective. Yeah, hello, woman.
Yeah.
So men have a different take on stuff. So what would you think, like, for men, what would be a good self-care thing for a man? Because I'm sure you don't want to look in the mirror and go, oh boy, my legs are just like, you know. What would you say?
Well, no, you did bring up, you know, muscles, like, hey, I can still lift this.
Yeah.
Hey, I can still jog that mile. Hey, you know, I can still climb that hill. You know, things like that. Sometimes it's physical. Sometimes it can be a mental exercise, like you can still do calculus in your head or something like that. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. It's just about something that you really appreciate about yourself. You can appreciate that you still have both your legs.
Yeah.
You could appreciate that you have both arms. You know, or you could appreciate that you still have one good arm. Okay. it could be an appreciation of, hey, this person still really cares for me. They may give me a ton of crap all the time, but they still care for me. Things like that.
Okay, yeah. But like maybe self-care, because I know women sometimes look at self-care as different than men do. Like for me, self-care is some deep meditation, yoga, just kind of clearing my mind, telling myself that, hey, I'm good, telling myself that I'm sexy. Women see it. What would be like a good self-care thing, for men? Like, do you think? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, or does it tie into what you just said for you?
A self-care?
Yeah. Like maybe...
maybe you've always intended on changing up your mustache. Or
That's
changing up your beard. Hanging up the phone. It could be changing your hairstyle. Something that you've been kicking around but you've been afraid to do. If you go ahead and do it and you enjoy it, it builds that much more confidence. Even if you don't enjoy it, believe it or not, it still builds confidence. Why? Because you had the guts to do it, regardless of what anybody else said.
Okay, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah. So, it's just kind of, and it's individual to everybody. I mean, not one person, is going to be the same as far as, loving something about yourself and learning about yourself and really just taking that in. So, I think it just all boils down to, if you want to do something in life, and it doesn't matter, this ties into this self-care and yourself, loving yourself actually ties into every aspect of your life. It, like the other day, when I said it ties into your social life, your personal life, your relationships, it all ties in together. Because let's face it, if you feel like crap, you don't have confidence in yourself, you don't have self-esteem, you're looking down on yourself, you hate the way you look, you just... that's going to carry over. And what's so funny, guys? And I didn't realize this. It carries over to even online. When people talking on the phone, people can detect and see this. Okay, even they don't have to know you. I mean, like for an example, this has been, I guess, last year or something. We were at Costco and we were looking at some protein stuff to get, and you know how they have their little samples where you can get food and you can try all the different products and everything. And we went around to this one area and they had something like a protein drink or something. Mm-hmm. And the lady that was doing that, she says, "Oh, would you like to try some?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll try it." And she says, "Do you guys take stuff like this?" And I go, "Oh yeah, we take this." And I was telling her what we're taking. She told me, she said, I can tell just by looking at you that you take care of yourself very well. I mean, she didn't even know me, right? And she just can observe by looking at me, how I carried myself, how I was walking, how I looked. She could tell that I was taking care of myself. And I told her, I said, yes, I do. I said, I work out 5-6 days a week. And then I was telling her we got started on vitamins and supplements and all that kind of stuff. And the point was that she could tell, people could tell whether you are the type of person that takes care of yourself or you just kind of let yourself go and don't give a crap. Okay. So it can be seen, guys. It can be seen with other people that don't know you. And, I most of the time, I'm the type of person who kind of says, well, I don't care what people think. And I really, as far as like what people think of me, I don't really care. If you resonate with me, that's great. If you hate my guts, that's fine too. I don't care. I'm not here to make you like me or, hate me or anything. I'm just telling you, self-care reflects out, and loving yourself reflects out to all aspects of your life. And like for entrepreneurs, it really goes back on, getting that energy. Where are we putting our energy? Are we putting our energy in our day into just all the negative stuff and getting caught up in all the negative things and letting our energy just deplete and drain us of everything that we have, so we have like no energy to work our business? Or are you really protecting your mind, your emotions, your soul, your physical self, so you can, when those things come at you, and because we get them every day. We get negativity every day. Just turn on the TV, right? Turn on the news, right? And if we protect ourselves and really get ourselves into this self-care, loving yourself, who you are, accepting yourself, we can really deal with that a lot better. Everything on the outside that comes and tries to knock us down and hit us and throws us for a loop, we have a guard. We're able to just fight back better. I think, that's my perspective, Whereas if we let it consume us, then, we're not able to fight back, and then we continually get hit and knocked down, and we stay knocked down, and we don't get up. It can literally paralyze you. So I think, I think that's all I have to say on it. I can go on for probably a long time.
Yeah.
On these kind of subjects, guys. But do you have anything else that you wanted to add to this? Before my hot chocolate gets really cold and I have to heat it up again in the microwave. I don't know if you can hear the wind blowing out there, but it's just like, probably not, but there's like this huge just gust of wind. Really windy out there today, guys. Or at least where I'm at.
I don't really have much of anything else.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else.
Well, we can go ahead and cut it short, because I know I'm not really worried about the time, because really if we want to carry on a conversation, that's what this is about. But anyway, guys, I just think try looking at where you're coming. How do you feel about yourself? If you're just feeling icky about yourself, think of ways, guys, that can really get you out of that. And we're going to get hit with those days where we don't feel good. We will.
Nature of the beast.
Yeah, that's just being human, right? That's just being human. But if we can protect ourselves and have a way where we can get our energy levels and keep our energy where we want it, despite everything, that's where we want to strive for, I think. So figure out, guys, what you want to do. Start loving on yourself. If you do, your life will be better. The relationships will be better. And people will start resonating with that. People will attract to that kind of thing. They attract to people that are really fun and good to be around. We don't want to be around people that are yelling and screaming and fighting and arguing all the time, right? So go out there, love yourself. That's what I say, love yourself, every aspect of yourself. Have a really, really good day, guys.
Love others, no matter how much you want to hit them. Just love them
others,
anyway.
Love others, because, it's not, it reflects out to other people, for sure. Love others, love yourself. Be good to yourself, and we will talk to you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.